Let's talk about why you're not losing fat despite eating in a calorie deficit. If you've been watching YouTube, you'll hear everybody say, just eat at a calorie deficit. Well, I'm here to tell you this. This is why eating in a calorie deficit is BS. There's 5 reasons why you're not losing fat despite tracking your calories. Number 1 is you might be in a calorie deficit the whole week, okay? But on the weekends, you have that one cheat meal that you just fucking binge, and that puts you over the top. So you can be eating in a calorie deficit the entire week, but if you're having these cheat meals that are blazed in oils and filled with fucking added calories that you don't even know about because they don't include it on the menu calories, and you're probably not even tracking this shit, that meal can literally erase a full week of calorie deficit. Okay, so that's the first reason why you might be in a calorie deficit, but you're still not losing fat. Reason number 2 is your calories might be too goddamn low. I just had a client who started working with me 2 months ago. His name is Bilal. I'm gonna post photos of him here. He was eating, let's just say below 1,500 calories. And he wasn't losing any fat or any weight. He was stuck. That was the reason he hired me. He told me, bro, look, man, I've been stuck. I don't know what I'm doing. Guess what? He's literally eating 1,900 calories. So I added hundreds of calories to his diet, and he started to drop fat every single week, and he's getting shredded.
I'm eating 500 more calories, and I've lost 7 pounds in this month. So I'm literally eating more and losing fat, which is crazy. Definitely more satiated, workouts are better.
So if you're in a huge calorie deficit, you're actually gonna blunt your metabolism, which is gonna prevent you from burning fat. And most people don't understand this. Shout out to the guys who like to eat 1 meal a day. Shout out to the guys who like to do fasting. Guess what? It's not gonna work. After a few weeks, you're fucking done. You're cooked, all right? That's the second reason. Third reason is because you might be in a calorie deficit, but you're not properly manipulating your carbohydrates and your fats. Now, let me explain. Carbohydrates is what fills the muscle with glycogen, okay? What that means is when you're exercising, your body's gonna use glycogen as fuel. But if your muscle glycogen is always full, the body is never gonna use the fat stores as the fuel. So if you don't understand how to properly manipulate your carbohydrates and keep them low enough to a point where your body burns off all the muscle glycogen and then starts burning off actual stored body fat as fuel, then you're never gonna tap into those stubborn fat areas that you're trying to burn, like the love handles, the bitch tits, which is a common area. Even for me, I store fat right here in the bottom, right? So if you don't properly manipulate your carbs, despite being in a calorie deficit, you're not gonna burn off the stubborn fat that you're wanting to burn off. Also, if you don't properly manipulate your fats, okay? If your fats are too low, below 40 grams, below 35 grams, you can actually severely blunt fat loss despite being in a calorie deficit because the fats are responsible for the cascade of hormones in the body. Testosterone, estrogen, cortisol levels, all those hormones that are responsible for burning fat. If you do not eat enough fats, no pun intended, you're gonna stop those hormones from properly functioning in the body, which is gonna negatively impact the amount of fat you're able to burn. Also, if you eat too much fats, right, your body's gonna hold on to more fat even if you're in a calorie deficit. So the final stages of a fat loss phase, the fats that you're eating on a daily basis, they should begin to drop and get lower and lower, right? Huncho, how do you know where the right spot is to have your dietary fats at? How do you know the right spot is to have your carbs at? I just uploaded a video called What No One Tells You About Losing Love Handles, and I go in depth. But essentially speaking, guys, you're gonna wanna manipulate your carbs low enough to deplete the muscle glycogen so that the body can start using the fat as fuel. And you're also gonna wanna have your fats towards the lower side, towards the end of the cut, even if you're in a calorie deficit. Because if you don't do this, the body's going to hold on to fat and it is not going to wanna burn fat, even if you're in a calorie deficit, okay? Reason number 4, why you're not losing fat despite being in a calorie deficit is because, let me look at my notes because I forgot what reason number 4 was. Is because your sleep has been out of whack for several weeks. Now understand this, if you have 1 or 2 bad weeks of sleep, you're not gonna stop fat loss. You're gonna be fine. But guys, if you have several weeks of poor sleep, this has an accumulated effects on the ability to burn fat. I've seen it happen before time and time again. A guy can be in a perfect calorie deficit, okay? He could be doing a lot of things right, but if his sleep has been fucked up for several weeks, the body is not gonna drop fat. You will not drop fat and you will not drop weight 100%, okay? So guys, please make sure if you have like 1 or 2, 3 bad weeks of sleep, please make sure you're catching up on sleep at least once a week. And make sure that if you're serious about fat loss, bro, like you control the sleep, because it becomes a problem over time. I'm not saying that one bad week of sleep is gonna fuck you up, but several weeks, bro, you're gonna severely blunt fat loss. And I've seen it happen to guys where they're doing solid calorie deficits and they're still not able to drop fat because their sleep is messed up, okay? Now, the last and final reason why you're not losing fat despite being in a calorie deficit is because all of the foods that you're eating are majorly processed foods. Protein bars, snacks, that fucking pussy ass shit. I hate when people be doing that, right? Because we're fucking grown men. We don't eat snacks, we eat meals, right? Snacks, protein bars, processed stuff, you know what I'm saying? All these things that you just think, oh, food is food, let me just count the calories. Bro, if you're eating foods that are processed, even if like 30 or 40% of your foods are processed, that's gonna negatively impact your ability to burn fat over time. You're gonna hit a sticking point. You're gonna hit a wall, I guarantee you. And there's a lot of reasons for this, right? So if you're struggling with losing fats and you've been in a calorie deficit, dude, change foods to whole foods, single ingredient foods. Track your sleep, for the love of God. Understand how to properly manipulate your carbs and properly manipulate your fats so that your body doesn't hold on to fat, right? Second reason that I talked about was not having the calories way too low, blunting your metabolism, blunting your ability to burn weight and lose fat. And then the first reason that I talked about was the cheat meals, all right? So guys, let me know what you thought of this video, man. This is something that some people do not talk about, but I wanted to get on here because everybody just gives a generic advice. Oh, drop your calories in calorie deficit. Guys, you can be in a calorie deficit and you can still be fucked up. You can still be fat as shit, okay? So those were the 5 reasons why you're not losing fat despite being in a calorie deficit. Let me know what you thought. Southpaw Huncho checking out. Peace.